We arrived in Istanbul in the middle of the night, but in the morning had a panoramic view from the roof restaurant of the Hotel Aysan. The hotel is on the waterfront on the Asian side of the Bosphorus. The large building in the middle of the view is the Asian terminal of the Orient Express. The hotel had air conditioning, but unfortunately not all of it had been installed. Atil Gelgor had kindly offered the use of his workshop in Hasanpasa as a base. The Associated Producers film crew had also arrived and were busy interviewing. As neither the air-freighted kit nor the gas had arrived, we crossed the Bosphorus to the European side to spend a day sightseeing. Unfortunately, this bit has had to be censored. We quickly move on to the road outside the Blue Mosque. And then go inside. The next day, the Diver Equipment Centre's freight arrived and we start assembling it. Here, D-rings are being fixed to cylinders so that the cylinders can be easily clipped to divers or to the decompression station. Atil's workshop is starting to fill up, and the interviews continue. Down in the basement, another team is making decompression station downlines. Jamie is keeper of the clips.
Which one's that? Those. I think they just need a loop on it, so you can just tie a bit of string and a weight on it. Yeah.
Here we are. Welcome to the sweatshop. These are my lads.
Work faster. He's back.
Let's fill the armpits. The armpits aren't wet enough. They've been slacking.
Work faster. He's back.
I think so. Enough of your leg.
Jump over it.
Meanwhile, Nick is contemplating drastic surgery on his video camera.
I can't turn it off in the water, that's a problem.
Maybe you should ask John about this before you cut it into.
Okay, just want to make sure the line's in the right.
Don't get the impression that the film crew stuck their microphone in everywhere, but
Right.
You guys turn your cameras on and off? Oh yeah, absolutely. You can turn them on and off, you can zoom, you can focus.
Get your lights off.
You don't
need a new blade, I
to
think.
adjust your white balance. Okay, Actually, we just do that because we like to occasionally.
Or last up too.
A lot of the times we saw stuff when we're using somebody else's camera.
We don't have.
Upstairs, preparations are being made for the arrival of the gas. Although everyone became wary of Psycho Dog after he bit 2 people.
He's out. There we go.
Tom and Jerry dog.
It is!
There were several conferences to keep everyone briefed and agree
All
things.
the wets equalise, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So when anybody's on filling duty, yeah, only make sure that you put gases of the same contents on, because what happens is
They'll
you've got 3 pipes that come out the wall of the shop that are about that long, okay? The extra compressor and the gauge and everything is inside the shop, okay? So you screw them on and you basically just let them go until they blow off, okay?
Then, several days late, the gas arrived.
You'll stand the full nose then. I think it's probably.
Having unloaded the gas, oxygen and helium is decanted into the appropriate cylinders. And final assembling and testing of diving equipment completed.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm just thinking, do I need a cylinder on to do a positive test? Because I don't.
You're in it? Wow! Is that car going to get swept away?
Outside, the weather was not quite what we had expected. The next morning the weather was fine and we loaded the kit onto the lorry and set off to the boat. An advance party met the boat on the European side of the Bosphorus and took the boat across to Beykoz to collect the kit and the rest of the team. The boat hadn't taken divers out before, but had plenty of space and a low gunnel. The lorry arrives with the kit. And is unloaded. Once everything was on board, the diving equipment was set up. we set off up the Bosphorus to the Black Sea and hoped we would be diving out of the shipping lanes. Get ready. We start on the top of the stern castle. The timber planking on the deck is in remarkably good condition. The white line is a guideline left by the Turkish SAD divers. The yellow one is a tape measure which Alex and Gary are using to measure the length of the wreck. We swim across to the stern skylight and see a brass window frame lying on the deck beside it. And another which has had bars across it. The opening is too small to go down. One window still has its glass, covered in marine growth. We are now at the very stern of the wreck and ready to go down to look at the propeller. The end of the rudder comes into view. And now the top of one of the propeller blades. There is also the remains of some fishing net. We set off up to the stern again. The edge of the stern castle deck has a distinctive rounded profile. We move off up the starboard side. And find a small porthole. times when diving, the narcosis gives you a sort of out-of-body experience where you think you see yourself swimming by. This is the hatchway for number 1 hold, with a timber derrick boom lying across it. This is the winch for the derrick. And this is the stub of the stern mast. We pass by the derrick winch for number 2 hold. And onto an area where the deck has collapsed down a bit. This doorway leads from the aft well deck into the centre castle. We come up onto the bridge deck. And to the lantern roof over the engine room. The hand railing on a walkway across the rear of the engine room can be seen. The top of a large boiler can just be seen poking out of the top of the silt. The deck planking has some gaps, but has not been eaten away much. We are looking down into the boiler room, but debris obscures its contents. This is the port side of the wheelhouse. The wheelhouse is wooden and in remarkable condition. The door panel is missing, but the frame is intact and still has its brass handle and lock plates. We can see the ship's wheel through the window. We go around the stern of the wheelhouse to try and get a better view inside it. And see the base of the funnel as we pass over the boiler room. very heavily encrusted. We now go into the front part of the wheelhouse. This could be the compass or an engine telegraph. It's difficult to tell with the incrustation. We are now looking towards the bow over the railings at the front of the bridge deck, but the foredeck is some way below and difficult to see. It's now time to turn round and return to the shot line. We are looking down the funnel base into the boiler room. We swim off the aft end of the bridge deck and see a mast stub on some collapsed decking. This part of the ship is quite broken down and may have been where it was hit. We pass the stern mast stub again and a derrick winch, and the stern hold. A strobe shows the position of the shot line. The front of the stern castle reappears from the gloom. The stern castle fades back into the gloom as we ascend the shot line. At depth the water is black. But at the decompression station there is enough light to see without lamps. time to have a drink. We surfaced to the welcoming sight of the tin bathtub which serves as a pickup boat. Once out of the water, the divers are ferried back to the main boat. Then it's back home for a well-earned beer.